Welcome back. Here we are. Finally, we're thawed out. 2 weeks later.
We were in
3
frozen.
weeks. I don't even know like the last time we had a podcast, honestly.
It was 2 weeks ago.
Hopefully you still listen.
They've been waiting on us.
We're gonna try to be consistent.
I know y'all been waiting. No, but you know what I mean? They get life happens. And life happened. And if you're our Houston listeners, you know that Texas,
then you understand.
Texas was froze.
Yeah, we definitely were frozen. But we're back. So let's get into the shits of this week. We're happy to be back, giving you all of this and our nice, sultry, very city voices. So we're going to go. I don't even remember who went first last time.
Well, drinks.
Oh, yeah.
It's been so long. She forgot how the shit goes.
I don't know how this thing works.
Do you even go here?
I don't.
Welcome to the Melanin
I
is Murder
graduated.
Pod. This is Moni. I am Shapri.
Yes.
And we're gonna take a shot, okay? Because that was first, always. Do you not want a shot? Have you changed?
Oh no! I mean, I'm here for whatever it is. I just forgot.
Do I not know you anymore?
So
I don't know. I'm only like staying at your house.
I
never see you. But we're gonna take a shot because that's just what we do. And this is a drinking podcast, and we encourage you at whatever point that you're listening to this that you be drinking. And unfortunately, a lot of people, they tell me that they're listening to this on the people want shots. I'm very short with a very non-good wingspan.
No, I'm an over four.
Okay. Also, Monet's shots. I learned this about her during the winter storm. Okay, so while we're taking this shot, it's story time, right? So I was staying with her during the winter storm, and of course, just like everybody in Texas, we lost power. So we involuntarily. Is that a word? Involuntarily went camping in her house.
It sucked too. I never wanted to camp in, no.
No, but thank God that she had a fireplace, her and resident husband Kyle,
Lord.
because that was the only thing that kept us going. And Maker's Mark, I don't remember where I was going with this story or why I even started telling you.
The pours.
Oh, her shot. So we're camping and we're like, trying to warm up by the fire, and we're like drinking Makers and literally like whatever that was in the house to warm up.
Yeah,
and she comes back with these cups. If you're watching, you can see. If you're listening, it was literally like a cup full of liquor. And she's like, there's like a Makers up to here, and she's like, okay, what do y'all want it mixed with? And we were like, whoa.
Look, I didn't ask. That was a shot, so I didn't ask for it to be mixed with anything.
True.
I thought that was a shot. Like, I'm
she
looking
was like,
at
this isn't a regular pour?
This looks like a drop.
Well, I mean, it is. Do you want
more?
So
now I'm self-conscious about my pours. No, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. I'll be fine. I was wondering why I was always so much drunker than everybody else.
And me and resident husband were like, have you been drinking like this all day? And she was like, yeah, that's just how I've been pouring them. Because we started off with Makers and coffee, and it was delicious.
Yeah, I poured it into y'all's drinks too. And y'all, look, no complaining.
I wasn't complaining until I saw how much was going in there, and I was like, whoa.
Definitely heavy-handed.
It was, yes. So, because people talk about I'm heavy-handed. I don't compare to you, honey. So let's take these shots. Brian and fake audience, let's take these shots. Cheers to
clink, clink.
More life. Nigga, we made it.
ASMR of shot taking. I think that's a lane.
That's how I feel like we sound when we take our shots.
I know.
A lot of throat babies.
Not me. Well,
microphonally throat baby. Anyway,
moving on.
Right. So our last show that we were supposed to have was going to be for Valentine's Day. And like my story revolves around still Valentine's Day because I was like, hit pause. So I was like, let's make a Valentine's-y type of drink. So I made but like, you know, murdery. Yeah. So I made a blood orange drink.
Okay.
Because of blood.
I like it.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what we're drinking today is going to be an Añejo blood orange margarita.
Oh, I love a margarita, so we're good.
Hobby. So let's
get it
started on that, shall we? So let's get it started with these Añejo blood orange margaritas with 2 ounces of whatever your favorite Añejo tequila is. For today,
since this was supposed to be for Valentine's Day, was it like emphasis on the hoe? Añejo.
Añejo.
Margarita.
Exactly. See, I just, you get my themes. You do. And I am appreciative. Añejo blood orange. Then for our orange liqueur, we're using Cointreau to go with the Añejo.
So she went from Mexico to France, y'all, because
baby
diverse.
We are very culturally ill. So 3/4 ounce of Cointreau or whatever orange liqueur you may have on hand. Cointreau is like the sophisticated, you know, like a little bougie.
Is it really Cointreau? It's called a Cointreau? I thought it was like Cointreau.
No, it's Cointreau. Yeah, it's Cointreau.
I don't like that. It sounds less high end like that, so we're gonna call it Cointreau. Cointreau. That
don't sound very
Cointreau.
Cointreau. No.
Cointreau. It sounds
like that. Just how you saying it.
Cointreau.
That's just how you say it. Don't say it like that. Then, let's do a 1/2 ounce of lime juice. Fresh lime juice. Bam. Like that. And ideally, you would want to have some agave. Today, I'm using simple syrup, but our Cointreau is already pretty sweet.
Y'all, I have no idea. So don't listen to her.
We're using simple syrup, like 3/4 ounce of simple syrup. And then we're going to use some OJ. Hey. So let's do about 2 ounces of orange juice in a hoe. I love a margarita with orange juice. Very underrated.
Tequila and orange juice goes well. I don't know why it's not done enough outside of like a tequila sunrise, but people don't really order it like that.
Tequila sunrise is very like 2002. Also.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay. Well, I'm vintage. For you guys born in 2002.
You know, all the young people are like,
they think that's so vintage and early.
It's coming back. It's very vintage.
Very vintage. Like,
and then for the blood orange portion, we're doing 3/4 ounce of blood orange sour. And then take a beautiful straw.
Little straws. And we got straws today.
I know. We're so fancy.
I'm so happy.
Stir them hoes up. I know. Monet loves straws.
I do. Like, and those are paper. I'm always here for paper or steel. Even though I have plastic.
We're very environmentally friendly on Melanin and Murder.
Outside of this, in fact, I have an environmental podcast.
She does.
Lying.
Not.
You should know that was a lie. That was
the test. And all right, bam. And then for garnish, okay, very fun. I have dehydrated fruit to go in that hoe. Let's see if it'll go on the rim. It's very crunchy because it's dehydrated.
Yo, why did I thought it looked like corn in there?
No, it's not good.
So we're just gonna put it in. I was like, where the fuck
corn? I'm definitely not putting corn in our drink. So we're throwing dehydrated lemon in there, and then because Valentine's Day, edible flowers.
Ooh, they're really edible?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, they don't really taste good, but you can eat them and it's safe. And we're just gonna throw that in there.
Oh, that's cute.
Right? Isn't it?
Look at that.
Because Valentine's Day.
Are those sunflowers?
No.
They look like it.
This is a sunflower.
I guess you can eat a sunflower.
That's my favorite flower. For anybody listening and watching out there who's single and is handsome and is taller than me and has a good job and all of his teeth, my favorite flower is sunflower. So, and my number is... Okay.
Hit her up in her DMs, guys.
Yes, only if you're taller than
Not
me
in our
and have all
Melanin
your
and Murder
teeth
one
and have a
because
job.
we've been ignoring those.
We have been, but also life. So cheers, everybody. That is our blood orange Añejo Valentine's margarita.
So you could be 5'6".
Yeah.
You lied. You lied. You lied.
If he's 5'6" and has all his teeth and a job, he can send me flowers. I didn't say nothing else going to be.
That's all you did.
That's all I said.
That's true.
He has permission to send me flowers. I didn't say
true.
he could do anything else. He just can send me flowers. If you're 5'4", you don't have permission to send me flowers. That's all I'm saying.
Gotcha.
I
get it.
Sorry, if you're 5'4". You just can't. You can't.
But 5'5".
No. I said taller than me. I'm 5'5" exactly. 5'5" with brown eyes.
5'5.5".
Yeah, you can send me sunflowers. That is literally it. That's all I gave you permission to do is send me flowers.
With lifts in your shoes, you can.
You have permission to send me sunflowers. Congratulations.
And he has very strong calves. So
yes, you should have very strong calves.
Wearing lifts. Yeah. So, you know, if you ever need him to kick some shit, he'll be good. That works. I see it.
So welcome back. Cheers,
yes,
everybody. Oh, you like killed that.
Yeah,
our volumes are very not the same.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm thirsty.
Jeez. There's nothing wrong with being 5'5" as a man.
No.
And that's all I have to say on that.
Yep,
Do you have anything else to add?
I'm good on that.
Okay, yeah. I will deflect to you for some murder shit now.
Okay, so
because that's what we're here for. Is
speaking of short dudes. No,
Ooh.
I'm no. This is not true at all.
Oh.
I don't know why I said that.
I was ready. I was like,
say
oh
shit all the time. I don't mean guys. Okay, this has nothing to do with the short guy. I mean, actually, we're talking about I kind of like love because we skipped our Valentine's Day episode because we were frozen. So, you know, you need the heat to thaw it out. And what's more hot than hip hop?
What's more hot than hip hop?
Since it came out in late 70s, nothing. Okay, it's the most popular thing there. So
happy Black History Month, everybody.
I wanted to stick with that, with my Black History theme. But I mean, I'm kind of always like very raise his fist if you can't see me. So probably most of my stuff is gonna have to deal with like Black people.
Blackity black.
So my story is in memory of the great Jam Master Jay.
Aww.
So actually, when I think about like one thing, I've always really loved music. I've always really loved hip hop, and when I think of like one of my first memories of hip hop, it probably has to do with Run DMC and Jam Master Jay, because that was probably one of the first things that my dad showed me or taught me about hip hop. In addition to my favorite group of all time, which is Tribe Called Quest. But we are talking about
Do you know
Jam Master Jay.
Best friend?
So, right, you got it. So, if you don't know, if you're not familiar with the story, Jam Master Jay was killed back in, unfortunately, back in 2002, I believe, in his own studio in Queens. So, it was one night. There were multiple people there in addition to Jam Master Jay. And so that means that there were multiple witnesses. However, there has been lots of theories floating around, lots of confusion as to why it was an open case for so freaking long. And we kind of know why. If you've heard me talk about these types of stories, you know that certain stories, when it comes to us, especially notable people in the Black community, it just seems like the police don't necessarily give a fuck, or they take their time with figuring stuff out. So there's been lots of theories floating around that we're going to talk about today. Unfortunately, the manner he passed was kind of very shocking and very, very quick. He was gunned down in his own studio, shot and killed at that scene. But let's kind of get into it. We all know Jam Master Jay and Run DMC. They are from Hollis, Queens. We all know that. So they grew up there. They were kind of like the biggest hip hop group during that time. They were the first to do things in hip hop. For that time, they had a lot of firsts. They were the first to do a collaboration with a rock group, so there had never been like a crossover prior to that when they covered Aerosmith's Walk This Way. And then they had that collab, which kind of like put them on a larger pedestal. They were also the first to be on Rolling Stones. They were the first hip-hop act to get a deal with a shoe company, with Adidas. So that was unheard of at the time. They weren't athletes. There was no rappers
or branding for rappers,
especially in a time where rap was still very, very new. So it started off with Run and DMC, and they grew up down the street from Jam Master Jay. Run and DMC had recorded their first 2 songs already, but it started getting some traction. They wanted to go on tour, and Russell was like, hey, y'all need a DJ. So Jam Master Jay had already been doing their park, I believe it's Jamaica Park, where DJs would just set up and just have like block parties. So he was well known in the area, and that's how they became together. And they got their signature style actually from Jam Master Jay, because Russell was telling them that they needed a style. Prior to Jam Master Jay joining the group, they were wearing like plaid jackets and shit. It was completely different. They were about to leave one day, and Jam Master Jay had on, his fedora. He had on this Adidas track jacket, and he had his Adidas hard shell shoes with no laces, shell toes. There were no laces, with just the tongue sticking up, and they thought that was cool. They were just like, okay, that's our look. Cool. And now it's been very signature, but that also was a look that was indicative of the people where they grew up with, so they were very relatable. So let's get into these theories. So a lot of people don't know. So after late 80s, early 90s, when Run DMC kind of tapered off, when other things in hip-hop started to kind of take off, he then started his own record label and opened a studio. And he actually was behind founding, some pretty great rappers, one being Onyx and one being 50 Cent.
Oh.
Okay, so that brings us into these theories. I want you to think about that, because really, who killed Jam Master Jay? You think you know, but do you know? So let's get into it.
That's a good segment.
So one theory, let's start with that. Jam Master Jay was known to put 50 on, and we all know that when 50 came out, he had lots of kind of shit with him. Lots of street shit with him. We know he was from the streets. He was from Queens.
50 not have shit with?
Even back then. So he was a kid, but he had beef, and he had beef with some real serious people. So you ever heard of Supreme Team from Queens, right? So Supreme was this large drug dealer in Queens. They were called the Supreme Team. Actually, New Jack City is based on Supreme. And I must say, I sent Brianna a picture of him because I thought Supreme was just a very handsome man. So we need to put Supreme's picture up there. So, anywho, there's this theory that, initially, Jam Master Jay was helping 50 kind of do his initial tracks, but on one of 50's early songs, he mentioned stuff about Supreme. Nothing crazy, but he was talking about Supreme and his right hand man Prince, who was like the killer, and he was just like, oh, Prince is the killer, Supreme is the brains and whatnot. They thought that was snitching, so they had beef from that point. And also Supreme had ties with Murder Inc. at the time, and we all know that issue. And then it started the beef between 50 and Ja Rule at the time. So when crazy. 50 got shot, it is alleged that it was Supreme
9 times
that did that, or Supreme's people that did that.
Part of it, yeah.
So, some people theorize that it was basically because Jam Master Jay was affiliated with 50 that he kind of got mixed up into it, and Supreme's people went and killed Jam Master Jay. However, there's been interviews with Supreme from jail, and Supreme was like, that has never been the case. Like, I'm from Queens, he's from Queens, he's always been a cool dude. Like, we never really crossed paths in that way. And honestly, I didn't even know he was like dealing with 50 like that. So couldn't be the case. So that's one theory. Theory number 2. Now, let's talk about outside of Jam Master Jay, before he met Run and DMC and Russell, he had his longtime friends. One of them was Randy Allen, and Randy Allen was one of his best friends, but he wasn't really a dude that really did anything on his own. So he kind of just like brought his friend along and kind of helped him out, because he wasn't really a guy that really, I guess, really had anything going for him other than the streets. So he was like, okay, I'm gonna, bring you up with me. Cool. Oh, I forgot to mention, I have an interesting connection as to why, obviously, it's pretty obvious that Supreme didn't kill Jam Master Jay, but I have another theory, like putting other stuff together.
Your own theory?
Yeah, like from different things that I've read and watched. But Jam Master Jay, obviously a part of Run DMC, part of Supreme's team, one of the guys that was like in Supreme's direct circle was Bimmy, who is Deb Waka's mom.
Yes.
Waka Flocka's mom, Deb Antony.
Mm-hmm.
Deb Antony's brother. So he was like one of the few people really, really close to Supreme and worked with Supreme. But Bimmy went on tour with Run DMC. So, I mean, he's seen on these, on previous performances on stage with them. So it just seems like it's just not likely, honestly. Mm-hmm. But anyway, going back, Jam Master Jay, really sweet guy. So he kind of brought up, not only took care of his family, but he took care of his best friend, Randy Allen, and kind of brought him on tour as, say, like a bodyguard and whatnot. Anywho, Jam Master Jay had a friend called Curtis Schoon, also that was a longtime friend from childhood. And the second theory is that he and Curtis flew out to LA. And this was after all of the money from pretty much his Run DMC days were gone. It was alleged that Jam Master Jay was dealing with bankruptcy. So he flew out to LA to do this drug deal, and they were supposed to meet with a connect. So their connect didn't show up, so they had a plan B. They went to the second connect, right? And the connects basically like robbed them for $30,000.
Jesus.
So it's alleged that Curtis was mad at Jam Master Jay because they lost that $30,000, and he said, like, you owed me that. So basically it was a drug deal going wrong. So essentially, I'd hate to tarnish a man's legacy, but there were some talks that, he started dealing drugs after that, but they had a drug deal going wrong, and his longtime family friend his name was out there as the one that could have possibly killed Jam Master Jay. Because if you think about it, when he was in his studio and got killed, you had to be buzzed up into his studio. So it had to be somebody that
knew
was
him,
well known.
for sure.
And also, someone that knew him. And also, mind you, if I didn't say it already, I want to remind you that there were lots of witnesses there. But we're dealing with people in a situation where also they're very scared.
Yeah, people are scared.
We're not only scared, it's a very delicate situation where we're dealing with black people.
Black people and cops.
And you don't want to snitch. You don't really trust the cops, but then you also don't really trust some really scary people. So anywho, Curtis was like, his name was out there, and the person who was saying, Curtis went to Jam Master Jay's funeral, talking to his family, talking to his sister, and his sisters was like, I don't really want to hug you because I hear that your name is out there about my brother, about killing my brother. And he's like, honestly, you probably already hugged the person who killed your brother. So when it comes down to it, it was Randy, his Jam Master Jay's friend, that he'd been spending all this time with, all his life with, who he paid for. He took care of not only his family, but Randy's whole family and Randy himself. Randy was saying that it was Curtis that did that. So he was perpetuating that. So now we get into Randy. So Randy had a life insurance policy on Jam Master Jay. Actually, they had one on each other. So if anything happened with one of them, they would get the money, and I guess they would take care of each other's family. And apparently, it's alleged that one of Jam Master Jay's friends says that Jam Master Jay, I came to him saying that, Randy had been stealing from me. Like, I know he's stealing from me. So, but, it was just really awkward. They hadn't talked about it. So some people think that was some underlying shit there. Right? Now, outside of that, there was another situation. There's another theory that, Run DMC and Jam Master Jay worked with, obviously, Def Jam. That was started by Russell. And there was a guy from Queens neighborhood, and their families were, really cool with each other. This guy named Darren, so also known as Big D. So Big D worked for Def Jam. And every couple of years, Randy, Jam Master Jay's friend, would come out with like new information saying, because after a while they were just like, why the fuck haven't the police come up with anything? So they started doing interviews, trying to put shit out there to try to see if they could help get this case solved. So Randy said, hey, the secretary that was in there, she saw one dude eye to eye and told that to the police, but the police didn't want to offer her witness protection. So, that made it a little difficult for her to really stand in her shit. And then also the award that they were offering to people for information was only $10,000. $10,000 for somebody for the death of somebody Jam Master Jay.
Yeah, for Jam Master Jay, that's crazy.
It's ridiculous. So, anywho, Randy came out in an interview and he's like, well, the lady at the front desk, I think her name was Lydia, she was like, she said for a fact that one person she saw eye to eye and she named was another one of Jam Master Jay's close friends growing up named Tenard. His full name is Ronald Washington. So she's like, I definitely saw this guy. He was the one that held a gun to my head, while another guy went in. It was the actual trigger guy that pulled the trigger on Jam Master Jay. Didn't really say who she was, but all she noticed was that he had a neck tattoo. So going into that, there was also rumors around that it was either Big D, who worked for Def Jam, or his son, who was trying to be a rapper, named Lil D. Okay? So Lil D has a tat on his neck. And essentially, what happens is Ronald ended up getting clocks for a robbery and at some point. And to beef up his charges, they put in all of that stuff about him possibly killing Jam Master Jay, but they never quite acted on it. Okay, so he was in jail for that, and as recently as a few months ago, August of last year, 2020, they finally brought charges. 18 years later, brought charges on these two guys for the killing of Jam Master Jay. Who do you think it was?
Lil D, Big D?
No. One right. So it was Lil D and Tenard, Ronald Washington. Yeah. So, yeah, they said that what happened was it was a drug deal going wrong. Essentially, Jam Master Jay had like 10 kilos of cocaine that was supposed to be brought down to Maryland. And I believe Ronald was supposed to be doing that, but something happened. And then Jam Master Jay was like, nah, I don't want you to do it. And he got mad because he felt like he was missing out on money. Allegedly. Because lots of people say that.
Tenard or to Lil D?
Tenard.
Okay.
Lots of people say that, Jam Master Jay didn't sell drugs, or he was not involved in that. You know, we're all not perfect. I still don't think that even if he did, it would disgrace his legacy. So I'm just glad that somebody's being charged now. Is it the full story?
Like, why does I just don't? I mean, obviously we don't want to taint anybody's legacy. I just don't understand how. I just feel like you're not gonna say that somebody had 10 kilos of cocaine, and that's not true. That's a big.
I don't know. Jump. I feel like, it could definitely be not true, especially if you're trying to take the heat off of you.
Yeah, but for Jam Master Jay, if that is a theory.
Well, the thing is,
and people are there's at least 2 theories of the story that are saying that he sold drugs and this is what was happening. I feel like there has to be some truth to it.
That is possible. The thing is, he's not here to defend himself.
No, he's not.
But at least somebody is now arrested in this case. It only took 18 years, and it always goes back to what I say. I feel like every fucking week is that why does it take so long for certain people to get justice? And that's it. That's all I got to say. That's my story. Try to give you a little murder mystery, a little history at the same time. I'm a rapper, I'm a poet, and I didn't even know it. So that's it.
Do you remember, is Jam Master Jay one of the deaths you remember, where you were when it happened?
I don't remember where I was, but I do remember vividly, I don't remember where I was, but I remember hearing the news and just being like, damn, man.
Right?
He was so young. Yeah.
Okay, this is my teenage years coming out. Did Jam Master Jay and Merlin Santana get murdered in the same year?
It might have been around the same time.
I feel like it was the same year.
Yeah.
Because I remember just being like, oh my God, this and now this, being
y'all.
I'm not gonna say
we
how old
putting
I
shit
am,
together because look at how many celebrities died in 2020, and that was 2002. It was just the 0 and the 2 reversed, y'all. Illuminati, conspiracy. I'm just trying to figure out all of the crazy woke. Third eye, all those crazy ass shit. Y'all shut up. Okay, but. Because I feel like somebody that made somebody's being
serious, and they're like,
yes. Yeah, you're so right. Because 2
2
plus 2 is 4, but it's not really 4,
I remember back then, I was like, oh my God. I was like, Jam Master. I was like, who would want to kill Jam Master Jay? And then I remember, Merlin Santana, it was his ex or his fiance or some chick, some baby, some woman. Shot him in his car or something like that.
Oh, we gotta cover that one day.
If you are our age, which is very young and sexy, you remember.
Now I'm proud of my age. Fuck that.
You remember the death of Merlin Santana because you crushed on him all of your.
Loved him.
Oh my God, all of my life. Too. I remember, I was like, he got shot in his car by who? Like, what the... I know it had to be around the same time.
That still hurts my heart. He was
too.
like one of my first crushes, honestly.
Mine too. He was everybody's first
He was so
crush
cute.
around
And he really made me hate Moesha at the time because
Absolutely.
I was like, how the fuck Moesha get him? You know, like, I always thought Niecy was cuter. So I was just like, why they try to play Niecy like that? You know? They did. They tried to play Niecy because she was way cute. Like, the fuck?
Like, Niecy got braces, so she not going to be able to get this. Merlin Santana was like the heartthrob of all the black shows at the time. Steve Harvey Show, Moesha, Sister. What else was he on?
Oh, yeah.
He was on The Cosby Show.
Yeah, when he was little.
Yeah.
He was on everything.
Yeah.
But
as we speak, I'm trying to make you another
drink.
Yes,
trying to make me another drink.
So we can proceed.
Thank you for the drink, girl. I was just gonna pour a little.
Oh, my bad.
Liquor
I went in. I'm sorry.
You.
I was trying to be fancy.
I was like, I don't need a full one. Thank
my
you.
Bad.
I appreciate it though.
Anyway, so moving along, keeping up with love and Valentine's Day. My story is on murder that happened Valentine's Day weekend. This couple was just trying to celebrate Valentine's Day, right? So they went away, like, normal.
This is interesting,
right? They just went away to celebrate Valentine's Day, and they actually they had some friends that were hosting a murder mystery dinner type of thing.
Stop.
Like a whodunit, where you pretend, and,
oh no,
you're this character, you're that character, and let's all try to figure out who done it, who killed who.
I'm so excited already.
And then the next day, after the murder mystery whodunit, the husband was dead. How did that happen?
Whodunit?
Right. No, literally.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, 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 dun.
Do we know how to put that sound in there? I don't know. I just did it.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay. Just in case we can't. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh my God.
So, Kimberly Ricke. I don't know if I'm saying this shit right.
How you spell it?
Hricke. Yeah.
Ricke.
We gonna call her Ricke.
Ricke? Yeah.
Okay. Kimberly Ricke and Stephen Ricke. They were married for like 9 years. I'm making that up, but we're gonna say 9 years. And happily married at first, of course. And then life happened.
Then year 7 came.
Damn. She hasn't been married 7 years, but she said that very specific. And then
because that's like a thing. It's like 7-year itch.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know what happened, but Kimberly was okay. Let's backtrack. Kimberly was a surgical technician, right?
Okay.
So she's made a lot of money as a surgical technician. I'm being facetious, but she was more well-off than Stephen, the husband.
I was like, she was probably compared to the average of
she was
Americans.
Average. Yeah. Stephen, I forget what he did. It was like construction or something, like odd job. So she was doing better than he was, and eventually she got fed up, and she was like, I'm more financially stable than him. He ain't shit, and she got her little young tenderoni on the side
at year 7.
Probably at year 7. So she got her little young tenderoni, right? So they had an affair, and she was so happy. But then this year they were like, "No, we're gonna work everything out. Let's go away for Valentine's Day and rekindle our love because nice. We are married after all. Like, let's do this." And so they had their friends that planned this murder mystery whodunit type of thing where each person was a character and you had to figure out who was the person that killed so-and-so. So in this murder mystery thing, the person who died ingested poison via a glass of champagne, and while he was making his toast, it was to the dinner, fake. He died from poisoning from his champagne while he was making his toast. So, After the murder dinner or whatever, it was Valentine's Day weekend. That next day, the husband was trying to get it on, make it things sexy with his wife. He's like, oh, we probably haven't had sex in like 7 months, you know.
Get it on.
She was get it on. She was probably like making up excuses every time, like, oh, I'm on my period. Oh, I'm so tired.
Or she was just like, nigga, your dick is trash.
I've been dealing with
it for
Could be like, yeah. She had a young tenderoni on the side,
trash.
like, so
yeah.
Obviously she was like, I don't want this shit.
Yeah.
But you know, they were on a Valentine's weekend, so they were supposed to be like, wow, chicka, wow, wow, wow. You know, they were supposed to be getting it in. But so naturally, Steven was like, oh, like we in a hotel, like let's do the damn thing.
Yeah.
And he was ready, and she was like, oh my gosh, I have to go meet a friend really quickly. So he was ready, and he's like, wow. And she's like, oh, hold that thought. So she left and was like, oh, my God, I have to go meet my friend. And she came back at 1 a.m. to their hotel room, and oh my God, the hotel is on fire, just their room. and she walks in, and she's like, oh, my God, no. And Steven, the husband, he's dead.
He burned in the fire.
Mm-hmm. So the top half of him.
So it's so only the top half of him caught fire.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh my gosh, my husband, he probably was drunk and was trying to have a cigar because like one of his cigars was missing, and she was like, he probably just like accidentally lit the comforter on fire and set his ass on fire. Either that or committed suicide. Like either or. And everybody
she didn't think about it that good. Honestly, I would have been like, didn't. he had a little liquor because he always because his dumb ass always spills. Like he's slow when he's drinking liquor, and like, he lit it, and he lit his face on fire.
Yeah. That seems plausible. I don't know.
More plausible than the shit she came up with.
Exactly. So she's like, and so I guess she made it seem like that when people visited the crime scene, they were like, seems legit. Yeah. Like there is no other like cause of the fire. Like, you're right. Like, you're exactly right. So something happened, and he set himself on fire on accident. And so she's playing the grieving wife, and she's like, I'm so sad. I can't believe this happened on Valentine's Day weekend.
On Valentine's Day.
So, of course, they do an autopsy, right? And they do his whatever report, toxicity report.
Gotcha.
And but nothing came up, and they're like, oh wait, he doesn't the wife said he was drunk, but there is no trace of drugs or alcohol in his system. Like, WTF. Now backtrack. Remember I said she was a surgical technician, right? So she had access to things. So come to find out, Steven, the husband, R.I.P., had been injected with succinylcholine.
Okay.
So he was paralyzed.
Damn, that's so fucked up. Yeah. So if you don't know succinylcholine, I'm gonna, guys.
Dr. Thomas.
I know I look very cute, and you're like, how can someone so cute be smart? I don't know.
That's what people are wondering. They're like,
I don't know.
How
I know you're wondering
she be
that.
so beautiful and know so many things about science.
Well, what succinylcholine
and this is
does?
The segment called Dr. Thomas.
Yes. So. This is way back from my med school days because I deal with making people beautiful. I don't have to deal with this anymore. But I do remember that succinylcholine.
She hasn't made me beautiful in a very long time, but I'm just.
You're already beautiful. But succinylcholine, what it does is it basically kind of takes up your oxygen from your blood cells. Ta-da! That's it. Okay. Right.
So he essentially he couldn't move.
You can't.
Right?
Yeah. You're basically kind of. In layman's terms, like to make it really, really, really simple. Like I'm oversimplifying it. Like, so don't tell me like, no, that's technically not how it works. I know I'm oversimplifying it.
Knows.
Think about like not having oxygen. Think about if you smothered somebody. It's a way to take that away from them without smothering them.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's untraceable, correct? Well, kind of.
Kind of.
Yeah. So it's kind of untraceable. So he had been injected with succinylcholine, and as she just said, think about if you'd smothered somebody. So how could somebody that had been injected with succinylcholine set themselves on fire also? Not possible, probably.
Not possible.
So what happened was, basically she was like, I don't want to have sex, and then something happened. I don't remember how, but she ended up poisoning him, just like the Whodunnit. Poisoned his ass with succinylcholine, and then afterwards tried to cover it up with a fire in their hotel room, and then tried to play the grieving wife.
Oh my God.
And she just knew that it wasn't going to come back to her, and was like,
So she was like, at least I'm going to get the lungs and such.
Exactly. So that's how he got set on fire, just from the waist up, nothing else. Yeah, so they figured all that out, and they were like, oh, and also she had her little boo on the side, but also there was insurance money involved. She had, I think it was like $500,000 at stake for his insurance policy, blah, 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 blah. At the end of the day, Kimberly
killed that
got
man
charged.
for $500,000.
It wasn't even a lot. Like, was it worth it? She I guess she really thought that she was just going to get that insurance money and go live a life of joy with her little boo. But, like, was it worth it, Kimberly? She got sentenced to life in prison.
That's not funny, but it's funny. Like, because did she think the day before during the whodunit, whodunit, like that?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, did she plan this? Well, she had to have planned it before the whodunit, because she had to bring the succinylcholine with her on the trip.
She did. Yeah,
but it was just the fact that they attended this whodunit murder mystery, and the guy got poisoned and died, and then it was this whole thing like, oh my God, the exact same thing happened to me. My husband was poisoned and died, and I'm so sad right now.
But she had, the bitch is smart. She had a chance to practice her emotions the night before. Yeah,
Okay.
she was like, let me practice.
Let
me see. Let me work this out on my friends.
Right. Yeah.
Let me get all the kinks out, and then I'm going to get my real shit together.
Okay, so that's what happened. But it still didn't work, because they found her ass out. So that was a good story. Valentine's Day weekend from hell.
Valentine's Day, not a massacre. Well, kind of, because like the fake person died, and then her husband.
Her poor husband died.
And that poor young.
The poor young tenderoni.
I know. He found somebody else. I'm sure he's fine. Well, speaking of,
that was our murder mystery.
That's what you're here for, Melanin and murder.
And now it's time for the murderous mix.
So,
murderous mess.
Murderous mess. Okay, the mess of the week. Well, of the last 2 weeks. So I thought in my head, when I was thinking about this, Brianna, to like make it like. In my head, I visualize like, you know, when you like there's an award show and there's like in memoriam. I imagined the last 2 weeks happening like in like memoriam of the last 2 weeks.
Yes.
So that's how I'm gonna go through this. So we're gonna just like flash the pictures, just like, and I wish I had like some nice like classical music to go in the back of it.
We can play
like
some
in memoriam.
Let's play some Vivaldi, shall we? For the
I don't know why that was
Vivaldi.
I'm gonna get into it. So, in memoriam of the last 2 weeks, let's smile. Okay, in memoriam, what you've missed.
I smiled too hard.
It's okay.
Okay.
What you've missed is Valentine's Day. Plan to give you some looks. Well, I plan to wear this, so you got the looks, I guess. But you know, if you were in a lot of places, like here in Houston, Texas, you may have got to celebrate Valentine's Day. Actually, me and my husband did a great job. Kudos to us, because we actually celebrate on Saturday. Because then I was like, we can just chill out and like pig out all Sunday. And we lost power on Sunday. So look at us coming up on top. So that worked out. But if it didn't, what I noticed was that everything was shift today. So on Monday, I want to have a memoriam for all of those old men that had to push out their dates with their little young side chicks out even further. Because when things kind of came back on Monday, I went to do my lashes, and I was in an area where it kind of gets like hot, you know, in Houston. Not like hot, but like, you know, people be on dates a lot, and I'd be checking them out. There were way too many old guys with very young women, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? They're all over just holding hands and shit. Because the day for them was supposed to be, oh no, actually they were on point. Yeah, because it was Sunday. Yeah. So the day for them, they patted on Monday. So they stuck with their dates with their young women. So I just want to say, shout out to you.
Sorry to you.
Going out, the other thing that happened in the past 2 weeks, Kim Ye is now back to Kim and Kanye.
Kim and Ye.
They're no longer Kim Ye.
That's so sad. It's such a beautiful love story.
All I could really think about with that news was just like, okay, like, wow, they lasted longer than I thought they would, but we knew it was coming. And all I can think about, everybody's like, oh, when they divorce? I'm like, why the fuck are y'all thinking about that? Y'all really not thinking about who is Kim going to be with next and who's Kanye going to be with next? Because that's all I can think about. Is all I can think about. Who's Kim going to date next? Who do you think she's going to date next? And who do you think Kanye is going to make, who's he going to date next?
Who's an available
attention-seeking
athlete /
rapper? All of them. Kim will not have an issue. I'm more interested kind of like,
I think she's going to go back to an athlete next.
And it didn't quite work out with her with the athlete, so she may go. I think Drake will probably try to get at her, and she might be with Drake because that's like Kanye's nemesis, low key.
I don't think Drake would be with like the whole fake.
I think you're overestimating Drake
type of thing.
I don't think they would get married, but I think they would.
No, but I
date because
I mean like a serious type.
Even if it's dating. Not like real, like that seems like who she would have to be with next. Like, who the fuck else would she be with? She needs to be with someone high profile. It's either that or it's going to be some like, nah, because she don't like white guys. So obviously, some unknown white guy that's a billionaire, she don't like white guys.
Definitely not
so
white.
She has to stay with a rapper, an athlete. If you're dealing with very rich black men.
I'd say a very high profile rapper or a high profile black actor. Obviously, they have to be black. That's like number one. It's going to be
either Drake. I put money on that. Either Drake or is he married? The guy that owns the Weather Channel, Bob Johnson. No, that's the maker. I mean the owner that used to be the creator of BET. Mm-hmm. Anyway, y'all know who I'm talking about. Look him up. Moving on. In memoriam, guys. Hashtag free Britney.
We're very serious about this. Don't play with us.
No.
We're Free Britney Hive, okay?
Free Britney, because if everybody's been watching the documentary, and you should know that we need to free Britney. And I thought, why not? We have the hashtag Free Britney movement. I think we all need to have a hashtag Fuck Justin movement, which should have been happening for a long time. Free Britney should also come. You should always follow that with hashtag Fuck Justin, because he messed over Britney. Britney is trying to get her freedom. Okay, and it's not fair if you haven't seen the New York Times episode on Hulu. New York Times presents the Framing Britney Spears. Watch it. That shit is good as fuck. You understand that she was in a time where people didn't really understand mental illness, and the videos or the pictures of her being bald and hitting that car with that umbrella. If you know the story behind it, you would know that most of us would do the same thing. Be like, get the fuck out my face. I probably would have done worse. I would way crazier.
Definitely would have done worse.
She was super, super nice. And fuck Justin for framing her in so many ways to make her seem like she was way worse than she was, and using his white privilege and male privilege in so many different ways. Okay, it was the misogyny with she's trying to conserve her image and say yeah, maybe I'm a virgin, because they were fucking 19.
I feel like we can't put it all on Justin. It also had something to do with the media. Was a ton of it though.
No.
Justin,
Because here's the thing.
I'm not taking blame away from him.
Because men don't get enough of it. It's always like us as women. You can't do that shit. Like they always get away with shit because women don't like stand up for other women enough. Just like, no, that was fucked up. It was fucked up what you did. It was fucked up what you did. I don't care. People get away with shit like I was young all the time.
I can say like it was fucked up what Justin did.
She did nothing wrong with that in that
fucked up what the media did, because all it took, like, why wasn't it more publicized of the opposite? Because all it took was for somebody, whoever, what media outlet, to interview Justin and be like, hey, did you fuck Britney and take her virginity away? And Justin literally was like, yeah.
But
everybody was
star,
like, oh my God, Britney's a whore.
No, that is the fucking job of the media, to get something scandalous out of you.
Yeah, so fuck them too.
So be
like,
a good ass.
Fuck both.
Nah. Let's not take away his accountability and his shit. Fuck him because he want to come out with this basic ass apology, however many, almost 20 years later, for that, and for his fucking white privilege for what he did to Janet. Like, fuck that. Fuck him, because take accountability. And I feel like too many times women try to like give men a pass. It's the same thing like white privilege, the same thing with male privilege. Like, fuck that and fuck him. Hashtag fuck you, Justin.
But I also don't understand why the media doesn't have to take accountability too. Like, these days, everybody's on the media. Like, okay,
they should.
Why didn't you say the name of this person?
But I feel like
in your
that's
headline?
two separate issues. It's kind of like saying like Black Lives Matter. Like right now, I'm talking about fuck Justin. I'm not talking about media.
Yeah, you can say both.
Yeah, we can say fuck media, but we're not talking about the media. I'm saying fuck Justin. Justin, take accountability for your shit.
But like, if we're
not
on
two,
hashtag
no, fuck
free
Justin.
Britney.
Fuck Justin, and then the media shit is separate.
Okay. Sorry.
Fuck Justin.
I'm sorry, y'all.
Not sorry, y'all. Like, take accountability for your shit. No, and women start making your sons accountable for shit.
I'm sorry, y'all.
And then, not sorry. She's not. I mean, unless she's sorry to me, I don't know. Like, not sorry. She's not sorry for me because I ain't sorry. Fuck Justin.
I know. I'm just
Texas
trying to give
freeze.
another outlook on.
Yeah, nah, bruh. Fuck Justin.
I'm sorry.
Texas freeze also happened, and also in memoriam an overfed hamster with a mullet flew from his frozen lair that he was supposed to take care of to Cancun, and then blamed it on his children as the reason that he did that. So fuck him. Also fuck Cruz. We could also say no, but what about all of the GOP? Fuck Ted Cruz. Fuck you. Fuck ERCOT, because Texas wants to be its own part of whatever. Texas wants to be its own thing. That's why we were fucking freezing. If you don't know, ERCOT takes care of basically all of the energy here in Texas. Texas decides that there's like the western part, basically, to make it very simple, we are separate from the whole fucking country, okay, when it comes to energy. So when we had this freeze, we were not able to borrow energy from other parts of the country, and the power plants also were not winterized. But then like the certain media outlets were like, oh, it's because of windmills. Not the fucking truth, because only 25%, or actually 20% of Texas energy comes from windmills. And also fucking windmills come from like Holland or some shit. I don't know. When you grow up and you're a kid, you think of windmills in clogs. That place is cold as fuck. So I doubt that something that doesn't work in the cold would come from, like, be invented in a place that's cold as fuck. Anywho, all of that shit happened. Last thing, this is in memoriam, but not in memoriam to, everything is in memoriam except for this, which is Rush Limbaugh is dead. That's all we gotta say on that. Last thing, and happy news, is that Bobby Shmurda has been released.
That wasn't happy news?
I mean, unless you want to say it's happy news, child. It ain't happy to me.
What, Rush Limbaugh?
Yeah.
Rush Limbaugh is dead. I thought we were already on the happy news. You said we were switching.
We're done. So we right at 59 minutes, about to be in.
No, I'm just saying. You
Welcome
said
back,
Limbaugh
Bobby
is
Schmurder. I'm not going to say, I don't want to be insensitive, but we don't care about that death. And that is the end of Melanin and Murder this week. Thanks for having us.